She thought she had won. The moment the security badge hit the desk and the door closed behind him, she threw her head back and laughed. Colleagues nearby pretended not to notice, but she didn't care. She had just fired the black single dad who worked the late shift, the one who always stayed quiet, always brought leftover dinner for the night crew, always asked how everyone's kids were doing. She had waited months for this. In her mind, he was slow, too soft, always putting family first instead of company. So when the numbers dipped just enough to justify a cut, she made the call. She walked back to her desk feeling lighter than she had in years, already planning the celebratory drinks after work. Before we go any further, if stories like this touch something in you, take a second to subscribe to Whispers of Heart 012. Hit that like button and leave a comment telling me where you're watching. It helps more than you know. Marcus had been raising two boys alone since his wife passed 3 years earlier. He worked nights at the distribution center, so he could be home when they got out of school. He never complained. He never asked for special treatment. When a coworker's car broke down, he gave them a ride, even if it made him late. When the young warehouse kid forgot lunch 3 days in a row, Marcus started packing an extra sandwich. He did these things quietly, the way some people breathe. Kindness was not a performance for him. It was simply how he moved through the world. The manager, whose name was Diane, saw none of that. She saw a man who left exactly at the end of his shift, who sometimes asked for an extra day off when one of the boys was sick, who smiled at people she considered beneath her. In her private conversations, she called him soft. She told herself the company needed harder workers, people who lived for the overtime. So when upper management asked for a reduction in night shift staff, she put Marcus's name at the top of the list. She delivered the news herself, standing in the break room so others could hear. "We're letting you go," she said, voice bright, effective immediately. Marcus just nodded. He thanked her for the opportunity. He shook her hand. Then he walked out without another word. Diane watched him go and felt a rush of satisfaction, so strong it almost embarrassed her. She told the remaining staff that the team would be stronger now. She ordered pizza for the night crew as a morale boost. She laughed a little too loud. She even texted a friend. Finally got rid of the dead weight. 2 days later, the regional boss, Mr. Callahan, flew in for a surprise visit. He was a quiet man who preferred walking the floor and sitting in meetings. He asked for Marcus by name. "Where is he?" he said, looking around the room. Diane felt the blood leave her face. She explained, carefully, that Marcus had been let go due to performance and cost cutting. Callahan listened without interrupting. Then he asked her to follow him to a small conference room. He opened a folder and slid a stack of papers across the table. Inside were handwritten notes from coworkers, emails from customers, and a letter from the local food bank. Over the past year, Marcus had quietly organized a monthly food drive on the night shift. He had used his own truck to deliver the donations. He had stayed late more times than anyone knew, not for overtime pay, but to help new hires learn the system so they wouldn't get written up. One customer had written that Marcus once drove an extra 40 minutes after his shift to deliver a critical medical shipment because the regular driver had called out sick. He never put it on his time card. Callahan looked at Diane and said, "I came here today to offer him a promotion to shift supervisor. I wanted to tell him in person." The silence that followed was heavy. Diane tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come. Callahan continued, voice even, "I don't care what the spreadsheet said. I care about the kind of person who builds a team by lifting people up instead of cutting them down. That man is the reason half this crew stayed when things got hard last winter. You fired the wrong person." Diane went home that night and sat in her car for a long time before going inside. She thought about every cold remark she had made, every time she had rolled her eyes when Marcus mentioned his boys, every moment she had chosen status over decency. Shame is a quiet teacher. It does not shout. It simply sits with you until you decide what to do with it. The next morning, she drove to Marcus's apartment complex. She found him outside fixing a bike for one of his sons. The boy looked up, curious. Marcus stood, wiping grease from his hands. Diane did not give a long speech. She told him the truth. She admitted she had been wrong. She told him about the promotion Callahan still wanted him to take. She said if he came back, she would work under him without complaint. Then she did something she had never done easily. She apologized. Marcus looked at her for a long moment. He could have turned her away. He could have told her that some bridges stay burned. Instead, he nodded once and said, "Everybody gets a hard season. back the following week, not as the quiet night shift worker, but as the new supervisor. Diane stayed. She learned how to listen. She started packing extra sandwiches herself. She began asking people about their kids. Months later, the warehouse felt different. People stayed later because they wanted to, not because they were afraid. New hires were trained with patience instead of irritation. When someone's child got sick, the team covered the shift without drama. Kindness had become the culture, not because of a memo from corporate, but because one man had lived it so consistently that even the people who tried to erase him could no longer ignore its power. Diane never forgot the day she celebrated firing him. She kept the memory close, not as a weapon, but as a reminder. Every time she felt the old urge to rank people by how useful they seemed on paper, she thought of Marcus standing in the parking lot with grease on his hands and two boys waiting inside. She thought of how easily she had dismissed a life she never bothered to understand. And she chose, again and again, to do better. Kindness does not always announce itself with grand gestures. Sometimes it looks like an extra sandwich. Sometimes it looks like staying late without asking for credit. Sometimes it looks like a man who loses his job but still finds the strength to forgive the person who took it. And sometimes it looks like a woman who finally sees what she almost destroyed and decides the only way forward is to rebuild. We live in a country full of people carrying quiet burdens, single parents working night shifts, neighbors who help without being asked, co-workers who notice when someone is struggling. The easiest thing in the world is to overlook them. The braver thing is to notice. The transformative thing is to treat them with the dignity they already deserve. If this story stayed with you, carry it into the next ordinary day. Hold the door a little longer. Ask the quiet person how they're really doing. Give someone the benefit of the doubt when it would be easier to write them off. You never know whose life you might be touching, or how that touch might one day circle back and change yours. Kindness is not weakness. It is the strongest force most of us